Critical time for ideas, boys and girls. Really critical time. Are we going to go backwards or go beyond what we're already doing? I think that's what I really want to pick up in this presentation this afternoon. Are we going to go beyond innovation? One strand that I want to have a look at in that is about global citizenship, and then we have to enter into the teenage mind at that point. We've learnt so much about the teenage mind in the last 10 years through breakthroughs in medical technology, but each and every one of us in this room has such a great responsibility to ensure that this next generation beats all the things that currently we're way down in. We never know where these people are going to go up. Every so often you get things like text messages and emails, don't you, and the occasional picture sent through. I have no idea where this lad is now, but I have a feeling he's probably having a good time in his life. But we need to build the right environment for these young people, one in which they can succeed and be encouraged and supported and developed to be able to do that. Not only that, we need to put them in a community of action, where it's not just them fighting against the world, that they join then a people that have got common actions together, where they can operate in a democratic environment, which they can actually work towards the common good. We know that there's strength in numbers. We sit in a room full of people that are all interested in the same things. There are other ways of being. There are alternative approaches. There are mutual gains to be had. For going beyond current innovation in education, we don't need to return to the ideas of previous times. We need to go forward. These are not just nice ideas, these are ideas in action. Things about the environment, financial literacy, working with partners as we do within the co-op. Linking those partners to young people in their local area, across the Northwest, across the UK, maybe even across the globe. We want them to make a difference in their community. We want them to work co-constructively with teachers, parents, the local community, with the public and private and third sector, working together for the common good within their own community. This is not based upon an approach that's out of nowhere. It's based upon ethics and values. It's building that sense of togetherness for those young people to go beyond current innovation towards a more progressive, radical approach for education for true 21st century outcomes. The Sinnott Fellowship has played a massive role within that. It's enabled two things. It's enabled us to be able to research into that area, but also to look at doing those things for real. And we've seen that, haven't we, after presentation today. That could be, in the community that I work in, co-constructing a safe place for young people to go. The Rock Cafe is a place that's been constructed by young people. It's a social enterprise. They built it, working with a faith-based charity, a local church, local businesses, the police and young people. Police are great if you ever want to get a pool table off somebody that doesn't want to give it you. It's also about developing global dimensions. This is our business admin apprentice. She's sticking on the windows a lot of emails from a Swedish free school that we're working with. We started working with them through something called Skype. I'm not like Carl. I didn't understand it at first. I was amazed you could talk to people in other countries and they could see you while you walked about like that. This is a busload of 75 Swedish pupils that spent 30 hours on a coach to come from Tockenheim into Reddish. The children got together, they talked about economic exchange, they talked about manufacturing, they talked about a knowledge-based economy. That was all led by pupils, co-constructed by the Swedish pupils and co-constructed by the English pupils. As teachers, I felt a little bit redundant wandering about. They learned to work together on common agendas, environment, employment, economics, change, citizenship, all issues that they had despite any language differences. The next picture is a guy called Johan, who, at the moment, again, we're into technology here, Carl, who was streaming, I nodded politely at that point, the conversation back to 5 cooperative schools in Sweden. They were picking up on issues of the discussions that the children were having within Reddish and then setting their own agenda within their own schools. You know, these wider pedagogical and curricular developments are already there. We're already able to do all those things. The impact that that has to learners, it was mad. You know, you imagine all those people wandering around your school, completely thinking differently. Having Skype lessons as just seen as like a common thing to do. Why not? It's there. We also moved on to have a look at a development with one of our sister schools in China, with other primary schools in Stockport. We sent a lovely teacher across to China, who's now had a baby and come back, and we developed a teacher exchange. We met people that had a larger responsibility than us. This guy has over 1 million children that he looks after as a deputy director. He was really, really interested in creativity. How did we do that within the school? Naturally, we sent him to the primary school. He was very, very interested in the role that technology takes. You know, how do we see our society moving through that technological revolution? And our learners were incredibly creative when it came to learning, to questioning him. You know, this is a journalist at the moment interviewing the deputy director of Kaifeng City about why he only has 70 children in a class and why they're not allowed to speak to him. Learners like to listen as well as to speak and to develop new understandings. Back to the teenage mind. If we're here to create an environment of opportunity, or as it's called when you speak to young people, GAS, that's give a shit. They need to give a shit about themselves, they need to give a shit about the community that they live in, and they also need to give a shit as an active global citizen. For together, ladies and gentlemen, as we found out in the Chinese New Year, if we work together as the Wushu Kung Fu monks of Kaifeng City demonstrate adequately behind me, that we can do quite remarkable things, can we not? So when we're faced with a decision of what do we go backwards, or do we go forwards in new ways of thinking? I would strongly recommend to all of you here that you build on the work that you've already done, and you ensure that that generation of young people deliver all the things that they know that they can deliver with your support. Thank you.